Okay, where do we even begin? Let me start in Europe with the president of the European Central Bank, the ECB. I love central banks, don't you, Pat? Pat, by
they're
the way,
the best.
Sitting in for Stu again, who's just so sick. Yesterday he was vomiting from all the truffles he was eating on the couch while he's watching soap operas. Anyway, Christine Lagarde, she's the president of the central bank. It's basically our Fed, and they're all the same. Here's what she said, and it's a lot of blah, 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 so I don't know how long I can take it. I'll summarize if I can't take it for 2 whole minutes, but here she is.
Nature doesn't like vacuum.
Vacuum.
And we started working on the digital euro way back. Actually, when I started my term 5.5 years ago.
Oh.
And I'm not claiming, parentality on the digital euro because my colleague Benoît Cœuré had already committed a speech on this matter before I arrived. But I certainly carried on with that project, and subsequently Fabio Panetta on the board, and then Piero Cipollone, who has replaced Fabio.
Okay. I can't listen to somebody who's talking about Fabio. Look, here's what she's announcing. First of all, let's remember that for years, Christine Lagarde and everybody else, both here, foreign and domestic, have said that any worry about a CBDC is just a conspiracy theory. They have silenced, they have discredited anyone who warned of the dangers of this. But now, all of a sudden, I guess we all forgot that because now they're ready. And the stakes cannot be higher. I'm telling you, 18 to 48 months, our whole world is going to be different. They are ready to launch this now, and the stakes for privacy, free markets, and individual liberty, especially anybody who kind of likes the Constitution, they're at risk, okay? This is a really dangerous pivot that is going on right now, and I think it should fracture our alliance. Anybody who's advocating for small government, personal freedom, hey, privacy, I don't think you should be in bed and defending those who are going down the road of Europe right now. Years ago, CBDC, that's central bank digital currency, that's like Bitcoin, except the point of Bitcoin is it's untraceable. It's completely private and nobody can stop you from using it. CBDC, that's a tinfoil hat conspiracy. We'll never do that. Why would we do that? In fact, in 2019, Mark Carney, who was the head of the Bank of England back then, he said, CBDC, you are so misguided with your fears. And he said that while he was at Jackson Hole. They have that economic symposium where all of the really cool people go to. And then they talk about things. And then when we, who are not the cool people in attendance, go, that sounds spooky. They go, you're just a tinfoil hat person. Anyway, that's where he made that speech, that it's just misguided. There's nothing to fear here because we are just experimenting. Oh, kind of like Mengele. Oh, I'm sorry, that was bad. Kind of like, let's say, the atomic bomb. There is nothing to the atomic bomb. We're just doing experiments. Why would you be experimenting if you didn't think it would be something that you would eventually use? So anyway, 2021, Jerome Powell, who's our central bank guy, the Federal Reserve, he said, quote, CBDCs, this is not on, I love this one, not on the immediate horizon. Okay, so you're admitting that it is on the horizon. So in 2024, Lagarde, she comes out and she told the European Parliament that CBDC skepticism stemmed from conspiracy theories, saying the digital euro is not going to be Big Brother surveillance. Remember, what a central bank digital currency can do and will do, at least over in in Europe, will be that it will track everything you buy, everything you sell, everything you make. Okay, not a problem. That's fine. I don't have anything to hide, except it can be turned off. You don't, like I can go to the bank and say, I want cash. I want my cash out. Okay. You'll be suspected of being a terrorist if you do that. What's the problem? Hey, that's freedom, baby. But you can take the cash, okay? With a central bank digital currency, you don't own that. There's nothing to take out. They own it. The central bank and the government, they own that. So you have no place to go but through them. And if you decide, I don't really like that, they can turn your currency off. And make no mistake, that's not a tinfoil hat conspiracy. That's what's happening in China. So people have been, there's a guy, Prasad, I think his name is. He wrote a book, The Future of Money. It came out in 2018. We talked about it on the program. And he was made to look ridiculous. They were like, that's crazy. Anybody who's a libertarian, they've been talking about, you're crazy. Anybody who spoke about it on any platform during the Biden administration, they're crazy. And you were throttled or suspended because you were spreading misinformation. Okay? So I got the message. It's a farce. It's not happening. Except now they've just announced that it is happening. Okay? Back in 2020, the European Central Bank said 86% of all central banks are working on this right now. Oh, okay. Then, she said, in 2024, there's a 2-year pilot. But now, she said, there's a rollout coming for digital currency from the Central Bank of Europe. So it went from conspiracy to reality in a year. Love how that works. And we're all just supposed to not notice it. Okay, so here's why this is so dangerous and something you must pay attention to. I am convinced that especially ASI is going to be a tool. Remember, like everything, even scriptures, that's a tool. It's a gift given to you if you'd like to use it. But know that that powerful gift that you have can fall into the hands of somebody else, and they can twist it and use it for very powerful, nefarious purposes. That's just the written word of the scriptures, okay? It will always, everything can be used for good or bad. It depends on the people that are holding it in their hands, all right? And I really am convinced that ASI, digital currency, that's all found in the Bible. I mean, I'm in Bible territory here, specifically the last part of the Bible. These are the tools that appear very much like the tools foretold, that will be employed by the Antichrist to snuff out anyone who dares to say, I'm really not with him. Now, China has already done this. They launched in 2020 with their digital yuan. It tracks everything, and that gives you your currency, but it also gives you the currency to be somebody in good standing. If you don't do exactly what the state tells you to do, you're tracked, you're monitored, and guess who doesn't get to go on an airplane? Guess who doesn't get to take the train? Guess who can't go into certain buildings? You, because you're no longer in good standing. And it gets worse and worse and worse until you are literally living on the streets only because you disagree with the government. Don't believe me? Look it up. Now, the U.S. is not far behind. We have got to pass, and Donald Trump said he would sign it, we have got to pass legislation right now. No central bank digital currency ever in America. No digital passport ever in America. Because we are already working on a digital dollar here. Europe's move is not isolated. It is a chess move. Well, they're doing it, and China's doing it, and we better do it. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind. I want to be left behind. There's going to come a time you're going to hear me. Well, you may not, because, well, you probably will. Maybe. I don't. There's going to become a time where I'm going to be like, the Amish have it right. Maybe we should all be Amish. Now, I might be just saying that in a barn with cows and people who are all dressed in black. I don't know. But there's going to come a time where I'm like, I think we should all get out of here and go the other direction. And it could be coming quickly. Because what this means for privacy, for free markets, for your individual choice is beyond most people's understanding today. But you've got to educate. Remember I said there's going to come a time where things are happening so fast, you're not going to be able to keep up with them. You've already seen this in a good way with Donald Trump. He came in, and it's not just that he had a plan. It's also that we are using AI to find all of these things to correct, okay? That's why Elon Musk is there. Tech support. That's what's speeding things up, and you haven't seen anything yet. So when I give you these warnings and I say, hey, you got to, please bone up on it, please. Go ask Grok today. CBDC from Europe. What does that mean? What could it do? What are the good things? What are the possible bad things? I think in this case, the bad outweighs the good because it takes away any kind of privacy whatsoever and hands it directly to a government. Really bad. We'll go more into this here in just a second and so much more. It's just left this hour of the podcast. First, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. If you're even thinking about buying or selling a home, there is a voice you need to hear, and it's the voice of trust in a noisy world. It's hard to find that trust. Far too many real estate agents talk, but they don't back it up ever. They promise you the moon, but deliver a box of moon-colored rocks. Life is full of choices. There are small ones, and then there are monumental ones. And buying and selling a home is a monumental choice. And you have to have somebody whose single goal is make yours a success. Someone who's not just licensed, but experienced. These are the agents that we work with at realestateagentsitrust.com. I should know it's my company, and we've been trying to find people that speak your language, my language, fight for your interest, my interest, and back it up with results. These are the people who, I think all of them listen to the show or fans of the show, so you're going to have a lot in common, and you're going to be able to trust them, okay? And trust that we have done our homework to show that these people know the best business practices. This is just a way for you to make some of the best and most important decisions of your life the right way. realestateagentsitrust.com. Just tell us where you're buying and selling, where you're moving to and from, and we'll help you find the right person in your area. realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com. 10 seconds, station ID. Okay, so let me explain. CBDC, central bank digital currencies, they're digital dollars or euros, and they're issued by central banks. It's like Bitcoin, except not. Here's the big difference. This will replace your cash with what are called programmable, trackable tokens. Programmable meaning, hey, we have inflation for gas, or we don't want you buying so much gas because we've got to reduce emissions. Who's an essential person that needs to go to work? Everybody who has money in their bank that's not deemed essential, you no longer can fill your tank with gas. It won't work at any gas pump, okay? That's a programmable currency. Every single transaction from buying bread, paying rent, everything is programmable by the state. Now, they say, oh, there's not going to be any data access. That's a conspiracy theory. I don't believe you on the conspiracy theory anymore. You've lied and lied and lied and lied. And by the way, in Parliament, when they were talking about this maybe in 2018, they were arguing that we can't pass any of this until it's programmable. It must be programmable. And that means the government can cap your spending, block purchases, because, can't buy fossil fuels, freeze your account because you're no longer in favor with the government, and free markets die because they have a complete monopoly on money. I don't know if you know this, but monopoly isn't just the longest, most frustrating, most boring game ever invented. It's also a bad thing when it comes to free money, free markets. Bad. 10th Amendment, by the way, reserves the power to states and individuals. CBDCs, they centralize control. They undermine federalism. This is a betrayal of everything our republic stands for. It replaces liberty with technocratic tyranny. And if Europe embraces CBDCs, and they're still allies, I don't think they're allies to small government, freedom-loving Americans. They're not. They're not. This path puts them right directly in the path of every brutal dictator, every fascist, every German who was on stage after J.D. Vance was speaking to them that wept and said, they want freedom of speech. We don't have anything in common with them anymore because we're about to roll out a CBDC, and that will make sure that everybody only says the things we want them to say. It is no longer a conspiracy theory. Europe is rolling theirs out. A social credit system will be next.
This is Glenn Beck.
I want to tell you a story of a young pregnant woman. She's nervous. She's uncertain. She walks into a clinic. She feels the cold, sterile air. She stands in the glaring white of the overhead lighting. She's scared. She doesn't know what to do. She feels like she is completely alone. Choices are before her, but not all paths are equal. If she goes down one path, she is trying to block this out, but I think she might guess that she might regret it for the rest of her life, but she doesn't feel like she has any other choice. That's where the Ministry of Preborn is there. They are there to help her choose life. They're not just there to help her make the decision because we're going to make a really good, solid argument. They're going to start with a free ultrasound, and that argument is there's a heartbeat. That's a child. Once that happens, the baby's chance at life doubles. Then she's there back at the same place. I don't have anybody to help me. I don't know what to do. No one in my life will support me. We will. We will. People like you, people like me, and the people at Preborn. That's why we asked, can you make a donation of any size? Dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. Help save mom and baby. Pound 250, keyword baby. Preborn.com/Beck.
Get $30 off your subscription at blazetv.com/Glenn using the promo code Glenn.
Hello, America. Let me tell you what's going on. My exclusive Wednesday night special tonight. We all knew that DEI was bad, but insane isn't a strong enough word for what I have in this folder. We have had several whistleblowers who are still in NASA. We're going to take this to NASA. I'm going to show you what it all means, and then I'm going to take you to NASA, and I'm going to show you what they were doing. This is so incredibly evil. It goes back to the evil of Woodrow Wilson and Goebbels. What they were going to do with, and it's still in the works. It's still part of NASA's plan.
This is the Artemis program?
Yeah.
Which is the moonshot.
We go back to the moon, okay?
Yeah.
But wait until, when you see these, it will blow your mind how evil we had become, and it's still in play. And several whistleblowers have contacted us to give us this information. Several of them are risking their jobs, but they're like, I don't care. I didn't say anything before because they would have silenced us. Nobody would have listened, and nothing would have happened. But now we have a new administration. We have got to blow the whistle. Please, America, listen. Because Donald Trump we have got to act on this. It's just so evil. We're going to have an Air Force general on that was directly inside the Biden DEI initiative for our military. And what he has to say is pretty bad. It's so much, it's not enough for just the regular show. We're going to have, it'll be an expanded show for Blaze TV subscribers tonight. It'll run long after the normal hour, I think.
And you can get the $30 off your subscription so you can see it tonight.
Yes. See it tonight, 9 o'clock. If you're not a subscriber yet, go to Blaze TV and subscribe. Use the promo code Glenn for $30 off the annual subscription. You cannot miss tonight's show. It's our Wednesday night special. It is must-see content for subscribers only tonight. Leaked documents reveal insane DEI moonshot. Insane. You don't want to miss that. Let's see. A couple of other things that are going on. There's a couple of things that I want to talk to you about while we're here and talking about the government and, exposing things. Elon Musk and Doge is really responsible for a lot of the stuff that's being exposed. Whistleblowers and his systems that are going in and rooting everything out. I don't know if you saw that yesterday the president said we're going to consider the attack on Elon Musk and Tesla's an act of terror. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I said that yesterday on the show about 5 hours later, the president was out saying exactly the same thing, and it's good. These attacks on these dealerships, in Portland, 350. Can we get Portland under control, please? 350 demonstrators, they go in and they just swarm this Tesla dealership. 9 people were arrested. Outside of the Tesla dealership in New York City, same thing happened. And they're not peaceful. They're not like, singing songs, we shall overcome, Tesla, we shall. That's not what it was. These people were targeting and trashing Teslas, and they're setting fire to Teslas. Trump was at the White House. He was buying a Tesla. He hates electric cars, and so do I, quite honestly. It's cool technology, but I hate them. I'm a car guy. I think Trump is the same kind of guy. But he said, I'm writing a check. I don't want a discount. I'm writing a check. I'm buying one. And he said the reason why is because the people who are doing this are domestic terrorists, and they are perpetrators that will go through hell. I hope he means when he says hell, jail, prison, and all of the fun that that really is. Then the White House spokesman came out, Harrison Fields came out and doubled down, said these are ongoing and heinous acts of violence, nothing short of domestic terror. And that is exactly what it is. I'm sure you know how we define terrorism, because we all kind of had to come to grips with this, 25 years ago. But this is how the federal government now defines terrorism. It is violence meant to intimidate civilians or coerce a government for political or ideological gain. So what somebody goes in, a group of people, they swarm Tesla, they smash windows. And why is that? Because they hate what Tesla stands for? Let's just take it at that level first. What do they stand for? Ecological responsibility, innovation, capitalism. Their goal is to scare Tesla and Elon Musk into retreat. And they know the only way to do that is to hit Tesla in its pocketbook. But Elon Musk is not going to stop. I don't know. Did you read the book about the guy? You do this, it's only going to make him double down even more. Okay. So they're sending a message to anybody who buys a Tesla, anybody who says, I actually like Elon Musk, or I like Tesla, or I like SpaceX. They're sending you the message, you might be next. That's not a protest. That's a calculated strike to instill fear and force change their way. That's terror, is it not?
Sure is.
That's terror. Mm-hmm. Tesla also is not just a car company. It is a symbol. It's American ingenuity. It's jobs. It's a future that the left should love, where we don't have to bow to oil barons. You attack Tesla and you're attacking that future. But you're also attacking it to what? Save corruption in the government? Imagine just on the first level if these people would hit a hospital because they don't like modern medicine, or they hit a school and burn things down in a school because they hate its curriculum. You'll notice that the right didn't do that. Why? Because that's terrorism. It's the same principle. They're not debating ideas. They're wielding destruction to silence people and control people. That is terrorism. And these people just don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're all greenies. You're against the guy who's done more for the planet than anybody else in human history? I mean, tell me who's done more. What's that woman, Jane, what's her face, hanging out with the monkeys? She didn't do this much. Okay? And if you take on Tesla like this, you're trying to scare people, what are you doing? You're scaring people that want to work for Tesla or will work for Tesla, anybody who wants to buy them. And if you start having it so the customers go away, then people lose their job, thousands of them. The supply chains stutter. Investors all flee. That's what Osama bin Laden was trying to do. Okay? We cannot embolden these people. The only thing that we can do is take them on head on. Declare that they are terror. Because this is not just anger. It's not. If I smash your car, because, Pat, I go over to your house and I smash your car because I'm pissed at you, that's anger. That's not terrorism. Mm-hmm. But if I go and smash your car and set it on fire because I want to scare your whole neighborhood into staying away from you, that's terror. So they're not just angry. They're sending a message, and this is what happened. And if I hear one more person say, well, it's fine and dandy that you talk about terror now after January 6th.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. First of all, educate yourself. Educate yourself on the facts. You have heard propaganda for, 5 years now. Propaganda. Things that have been proven to be untrue. You now know that there were FBI agents everywhere. Why did nobody stop this? They saw it coming. They knew it. They had people on the ground. Why were those people not acting to stop? Why? Why was Trump turned away when he said 2 days before, we have got to have troops in here because this could get dicey? Okay? You don't have to like Donald Trump or how he acted. I didn't like the way he acted on January 6th either. Okay? I didn't like it. But I think now, in retrospect, I think that maybe that's because, I told them and nobody wanted it, so maybe they should pay the price. Maybe Nancy Pelosi will be exposed to pay the price. I think that's horrible, but maybe that's what he did. Maybe he just didn't realize how bad it was. I don't know, but I don't excuse his actions on January 6th. I would have liked him to act faster. When he did act, he acted properly. Knock it off. Go home. This is not what Americans do. So you can hate Donald Trump. You can even say that those people were wrong. Yes, and that's why I have said the people who were actually violent, those people should go to jail, those bad actors. There's a lot of caveats with that one, and I'm not going to get into now. Just listen to an old show. But I condemn those people who I believe were terrorists. Grandma, the people who walked in and moved a podium, I don't see those as terrorists. But we could disagree on that. Maybe you could make the argument for it. Here's the thing. Condemning the people who are doing this now isn't hypocrisy, it's morality. Evil doesn't cancel evil. You can't say, well, you did that. You said that wasn't evil, so this isn't evil. No, we all know evil. And I knew it on January 6th. Pat, did you know it on January 6th? Mm-hmm. I stood with every American on January 6th saying this has got to stop right now. Now, for a myriad of reasons, there's a stain on the ledger here. But don't let that blind you. The Tesla attackers are not freedom fighters. They're terrorists smashing a lifeline of jobs and innovation, and they are doing it intentionally to bully Elon Musk into submission, to walk away from unveiling and finding and uprooting the corruption. That doesn't sound very noble. This is not a scorecard. It doesn't matter if you're a MAGA rioter or an anti-Tesla thugs. It's wrong every time, every single time. And justice cannot be selective. It's absolute. And if you excuse this because of past sins, you're not being righteous. I'm not being righteous. We're being weak. You have to demand accountability now, not revenge later. Accountability now. That's the only moral line on this. And I hope that our government does not work up any new little information that, hey, you know what? We could say they were doing this. I want to know the truth. I want to know who is involved. I want them tried fairly. And if they're found guilty with a jury of their peers, I want them to go to jail. If they're not found guilty by a jury of their peers, then they should be released. That's justice. And we have to demand equal justice. This is not for you. This is for you to share to your friends. Because if I hear it one more time. Oh, you let everything go, justice! Oh, God. Okay. Play that game. Watch your country burn. All right. Let me talk to you about American financing. When it comes to navigating your finances, sometimes it can seem like you're lost in a maze. Walls of paperwork, dead ends, hidden fees, monsters lurking around every corner just waiting to devour you. Monsters are usually the banks, the mortgage companies, just a heads up. They tend to dazzle you up front, and then they lock you into something terrible with the fine print and the paperwork, you know? It's kind of like that. Hey, you're 18. You're completely responsible. Here, have a credit card. Okay, thank you for that. American financing, they don't get commissions for what they talk you into. There's no talking you into anything. They're actually listening to you and then finding ways to help you get out of the situation or the bind that you're in. They can help you get debt-free so you can start building the financial house into something stable for later on. By the way, they've been doing this since 1999, so they've seen a lot of competitors in the field come and go. They've learned the secret to success early on, and that is put you, the customer, first every single time. Call American Financing now, 800-906-2440, 800-906-2440. It's AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 starts at 6.799% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 800-906-2440 for details about credit costs and terms.
Common sense ain't common anymore, is it? Time to wake up and wrangle the sheep. Glenn Beck continues next.
So, Pat and I were just talking in the break about Thomas Massey and him not voting for the continued resolution. And I hate those things. I hate them. Mm-hmm. And I love Thomas Massey. And I don't hold that against him. I certainly don't want to see him primaried for this. First of all, he wasn't the deciding vote. It passed. The second thing is that, I don't know. Maybe you don't feel the same way. I know Pat does. We were just talking about it. If this president, if he is the same as everybody else on the debt and deficit, I'm going to be more disappointed in him than any other president I've ever been disappointed in. And believe me, I've been disappointed by the best of them.
Yeah.
But everything he's done, look at Ukraine, is saying to us, please, Give me the benefit of the doubt here.
Right.
And
he's earned that.
He's earned it, and I think we give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a year from now, if we're still looking at this debt and deficit like this...
And still doing CRs?
Yeah.
This
all bets are off.
Glenn Beck.